got we got Sean coming from the Pacific Northwest with us again.
I'm
We
here.
got James from the South Side of Chicago, and we got newcomer Anish from out of the Garden State. Your favorite troll's favorite troll. All right, so this week we go ahead with a pretty deep show by our standards. So you know we're gonna clown around, but let's start it off with the ESPYs. LeBron, Melo, CP3, and Dwayne Wade's calls for fellow athletes to combat social injustice. Any of y'all guys got any thoughts on this?
Um, I mean, I didn't watch the ESPYs. I saw a lot of it. It's kind of cool seeing athletes speak up on some real life issues instead of being like and being like aware of it instead of being like ASAP Rocky and being a dumbass. That's how I mean. So that's I mean, I guess social awareness is really good right now in America. That's was really needed. That's my point on it. My stance on it. At least. So.
Yeah, I fall. I would say I'm really happy that they did it. I thought it was real important that they did it in the way that they did it. How it was kind of unplanned. It wasn't like oh turn into the SBs because they about to do it. It was just kind of like a last minute
Yeah.
deal. But the main thing that I just hope that it's not hollow words.
Mm.
So whenever you have activists or actors or people like that trying to be activist type things, is there's the behind the scenes and there's out in front of the cameras. And sometimes the behind the scene work is more important than actually what they say on camera. So I'm just hoping that they can do the best of both worlds, where they not only do behind the scenes work of giving money, donation, getting people to their calls, getting people meetings, and also activists on camera. But I thought I heard a great thing from I think it was like Freddie Coleman or somebody on ESPN and Bomani when they was talking about and me personally is we've heard it from black athletes, we've heard it from black actors, we've heard it from black people about Black Lives Matter and everything. Where's Peyton Manning? Where's Tom Brady? Where's J.J. Watt? I mean, on all these shows when we talk race, it's always CNN. They ask a black dude like, "Hey, how can white people be less racist?" Like this motherfucker know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's about time when they have like the white athletes and the white actors and everything really get into it and really try to open up like because a Republican's wet dream is Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? If he starts speaking about certain things, then shit, maybe they are looking at something in a different light. So that's how I feel.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that was a if there was any way to start the show, to start the award show, that's the way to do it. I mean, considering what's been going on this whole summer, it wasn't even like this happened, within months of each other. This was back to back days. So this, brings attention and limelight to the forefront of, what's going on. And I think Mello posted on Instagram even before the show his thoughts and his breakdown of the social justice system and everything. And I mean, I think it's a good way, to bring awareness and attention to it. I mean, obviously, I think the wording was actually good too because, at the same time with, what we have currently uh, in place, it clearly doesn't work. And I mean, it's very tight and complicated. I mean, I don't want to get into it that much, but I think, for them to address it, to obviously say it's broken and it needs to be fixed. Hopefully, the next step is taken, and we can we can see some type of steps taken, towards a better criminal justice system, that's equal for everyone.
I agree. Agree.
I agree. I mean, my thoughts on. I mean, it was cool and everything, but I just hope it doesn't start and end there because
Exactly.
the they're players. The owners, they're more like 9 times 10. They're more likely to be connected to the politicians and real estate developers and things like change. Like, cause the athletes, they're still on the payroll or whatever. And another thing, I see people comparing it to the 1967 Ali Summit when he protested the war in Vietnam when he had Bill Russell, a
Kareem.
young 22-year-old
Austin,
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Jim Brown by his side at the podium. It's really, I mean, you can't put the burden on them to walk out of games and stuff like that. But are they really that much interested to the and trying to fight social injustice that they're willing to lose out endorsement, which is highly unlikely, but there's
Yeah.
a chance
Mhm.
Yeah.
for a few other guys.
Yeah, that's kind of
That's
like
my
what.
thing. And another,
And Lou Alcindor and Muhammad Ali ain't eat bacon, so you know they was about the business. So
I mean, that's the whole thing. It was like I thought it was a great start. I hope it is a great start for them of really taking the torch in a sense and really trying to do something. Really being out here. Like I think even though he's not nearly as popular, Joakim Noah. Even I know everybody likes to clown Derrick Rose, but the stuff that they've done in Chicago is great. Now to see them with Brown and all them maybe come together and try to really focus and hone in on not just how they say the healing the communities and everything, but really trying to push forth you know the differences of the races of the criminal justice system and everything like that, along with things, because really at the heart of it is racism. That's why everything happens. So if they can raise awareness, that's great. But I'm looking for the white athletes. I'm looking for the owners, the general managers, who are usually, or almost all of them, are all white. You know what I'm saying? Because we're the majority. So at some point, the minority can't just keep on knocking on the door. You got to answer the door at some point. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm really, hopefully, Brown and them can put pressure on the white athletes like Kevin Love, or, hell, well, we know how Dirk gonna stand.
well,
He gonna have his to-go
well,
plate at the conference.
you know who his boss is.
yeah, I mean, it's cool that got us to go play at the barbecues and picnics, but I was just in Dallas while all this police controversy and all that going on, and I didn't hear from none of the top white athletes, the Romos, the Dirks, or the owners, the outspoken owners
You know who
Jerry
Tony
Jones and
Romo
Mark
is? You
Cuban.
know who cuts his check, John?
So,
Oh man.
But
speaking,
yeah, I think we are in agreement. That's where it needs to come from now. You know, I think probably there's a little bit more work that Brown and them need to do to make sure that it's not just a flash in the pan for attention. Like they really go through it for the next couple months. And that's going to start hopefully putting pressure on athletes or reporters even asking these questions
yep,
at
Yeah.
these things. You know what I'm saying? Like the reporters, I think you need to start making some of these people uncomfortable.
Well,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
that's what oh shit, who said that? One of I was watching a media day. Fuck. Oh, Zach Mann for SC. He was talking about how he was like, well, I'm a comfortable athlete. You see the shit that's going on in America right now. Why don't you hold me accountable to what I know? The Stanford kids out here, ask them questions about what's going on in the country. Like this is all messed up, and like, it was very fascinating to me how he wanted the reporters to ask him about that because it's something no one can ignore anymore. With the last 2.5, 3 weeks, it's all flashed on television. So you are right. We need to have these reporters come up and say with questions to people, and if we need to figure out who's ignorant, who's not, or something. At some point, a lot more people need to speak out instead of just four big time NBA players. Like we know who LeBron is. We know how LeBron stands. We know what he's been doing. He's been silently being an activist until now. But he's been doing that for such a long time since Trayvon Martin, 2012.
Mm-hmm.
We know how Chris Paul is. Like Anish said, Melo was on Instagram. Who was the shit? I remember. Oh, Dwayne Wade.
Right.
Dwayne Wade, being from Chicago, he speaks all about that stuff all the time. Like that's great, but like you were saying, more white athletes need to come together, more Mexican athletes or whoever, they see the shit, say something. Reporters speak on it, owners speak on it, like whoever. Like this is a problem that needs to be addressed. I think they addressed it. I'm not sure. I worked during the day, so I'm not really too sure. But I think they addressed it on the jump before. I'm not sure if they did.
I can see that. I can see that with him.
Yeah, because I know Rachel Nichols talked about it and everything. Because she is kind of out. She's. I think she's outspoken.
Rachel gets into it. She's pretty good with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's one of the few ones that openly discusses it on air and stuff.
Yeah.
I think someone from Fox, he talked about it.
Oh, Nick Wright.
Yeah,
Crushed it.
yeah. That was very powerful. Like I happened to catch a cross out this weekend. I was like, wow.
Yeah, like Buddy actually made me want to like turn into Fox.
Yeah, exactly. Like if he's on Fox Sports, I'll watch this for him. Like
Yeah.
it was very that had me like, just impressed with his knowledge.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
I will say this though, Bruin needed that ESPYs bounce back after dropping the ball on Tamir Rice on that situation right in his backyard. He didn't know anything. That was pretty disheartening at the time. But again, we'll see if they keep going through with it and not just do it for show, but actually put their heart into it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because wasn't Melo out? 'Cause I know Melo's from Baltimore. Wasn't he out in Baltimore last year, protesting a little bit?
he was out doing the Freddie Gray protest.
Yeah. Protest.
He was out. Speaking of star basketball players, can we turn to the retirement of the GOAT power forward and my second favorite player, Timothy Duncan?
Well, it's been a lot of years of seeing him with a jacked up haircut.
But
Some
he
stonewashed jeans.
I divorced his wife and got a young woman though, so I got praise for that.
No, all jokes aside, Timmy's one of the top 10 players of all time. I mean, I was putting this on Twitter. I personally would take Shaq over him. I think Shaq at his peak was more destructive, even though Tim was the better defender. Shaq in his prime wasn't a slouch on it, and I just think Shaq was more of a kind of a load. But if you want to take Duncan over Shaq, it's really, I can't deny that. Like, that's an actual valid argument, no matter what Shaq thinks or says in his mind. You know what I'm saying? But man, it's really great to see Tim kind of get some love, even in his quiet retirement that he kind of did under the low key retirement, because people don't realize or even think of him as greater than Kobe. I think most sports fans, even Sean, can probably admit that Duncan was a greater player than Kobe. And yet Kobe gets, so much more love and accolades and all these other things, where Duncan is kind of seen as this system player, or it's because of Popovich, or, this or that. Like, dude, he makes or breaks that team. Like, and like, go back to 03 and like those years when he was like, when he was in his prime, like, dude was a problem.
He won a title with Stephen Jackson as his second best player.
Hold on. First of all, that's greatest teammate of all time, Stephen Jackson. Every time you mention it, he's the greatest teammate of all time, Stephen Jackson.
Which is true.
But yeah, I mean, really, what's the Hall of Famer that he ends up playing with while he was in his prime was Manu, because Manu's got the international experience, so that's going to kick him in. But I mean, otherwise, Tony Parker's not a Hall of Famer. No, he'll probably get in, but
he'll make it.
Fringe, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he'll make it probably.
He put Matt Bonner was getting tick on these teams, like,
I
the
don't know.
fucking Red Rockets.
It's one of those things where I give Tim Duncan, like, just being a basketball fan, because I didn't like Tim Duncan growing up. I'm a Lakers fan. Like, that rivalry was too deep. It was just too deep.
We don't hold that against you.
It was just too deep, but I mean, at the same time, Timmy's a bad motherfucker. But I can't sit and be like, oh, I hate Tim Duncan now. I love Tim Duncan now. It for me, I guess it was sad this year in the playoffs just watching him. I was like, that's not the Tim Duncan I know. Like, I grew up watching Tim Duncan get like triple doubles in playoff games and dominate in playoff games. That's the show of himself. I'm happy he retired because I couldn't see it anymore. Like it was one of those things where like watching Kobe this year, it's like, yo, man, I'm really happy you're retiring because I can't. It's not how I remember you.
He scored 60 his last game, dude. I mean, he can do this forever.
That was a 60 on 50 shots. You know how much I love Kobe, but
that was a nice pickup game. And that
was like a glorified pickup game. I love Kobe. Kobe's my dude, but yo, man, he took 50 shots in 45 minutes, just jacking up stuff every time. But I guess I'm happy he's getting his due, his praise. Tim is that guy, and I don't know how to really feel like. I guess being younger, like I'm young, so not having him or Kobe in the league anymore, it's like, it's gonna be a weird feeling next year not having those, Tim in the league on the Spurs. He's always a mainstay with them, and it's just, I give him his props because that dude was a monster. Just
somebody put on Twitter there was like they put in the only players who were drafted before LeBron got into the league, before 03.
Yeah.
Like really, there was only like
4 or 5
left. No, it was a little bit more. It was like maybe 10, 12 players. Like you still got the 98 class, some 99, 2000, 2001. But really, if you look, it's only like 15 players. Like we are at the point now where Bron, Wade, Melo, are these? I mean, they're close to the end now. We're getting to the end of theirs, and like me and Brian graduated the same year. Like, so that shit's just crazy to me.
Yeah, man. Duncan won 5 rings with Kevin McHale's moves, like Kobe won 5 rings with MJ's moves.
Come on, Hardwood Classics, man.
Nah, but no, actually, what's crazy is that Duncan he should have 6 rings. I mean,
that's true.
That shithead Pop with his blunder with 10 seconds left to keep him on the bench, and Chris Bosh was I guess in his athletic prime, whatever the hell you want to call it. I mean, God willing, I don't even consider it a prime, but he couldn't get a damn rebound over Duncan. He's a fossil. He couldn't get a damn rebound against him. And then in the Game 6, what was his stat line in Game 6? I think he had close to 30 points. He was ridiculous.
He had like 34 and like 18.
Hey, what was the game though that Timmy missed the bunny? Like he had they gave him
7?
That was in the 7th game.
Game.
When they were playing through Duncan, they just gave him the ball. It looked like the game was over. Yeah. And then they stopped going to him.
Popovich, man. That might have been the one game that I actually rooted for the Spurs in my life. I did want. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Just get the ring. Just get that ring. And that hurt me. That game 6 hurt me. I was like, damn, they ain't gonna win Game 7. And they almost won Game 7. I was like, they ain't gonna win Game 7.
They ran out of gas in Game 7.
Yeah.
And Bron finally made some jumpers in that series. It just happened to be Game 7.
Yeah.
My thing about that, 5-time champ, 3-time Finals MVP. Could make a case it should have been 5, but they had to give it to someone in 07 when they beat the brakes off Cleveland. And he was still very good in the 14 Finals when they beat Miami.
Yeah.
My favorite Duncan moment was Game 6, 2000 semis, when he had somebody go to the bench crying after almost dropping 40 and 20. I think it was the three-time defending champs in Staples. Was it the Clippers or the Lakers? I can't remember.
Wow. Okay. Well, we sent Tim
I,
Duncan.
but that run
We sent them packing. You know, 01. I can count them. 01.
yeah.
Oh, 102, 08.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
sent them packing.
I ain't gonna lie, but that whole preseason Duncan had one of the 5 greatest though, by any player. He had some bullshit on his squad. If you look at those rosters, he got rid of Shaq and Kobe, and then basically ended the finals with a quadruple double. Statistician hit 3 blocks and then count them. He had 8 blocks officially, but if you go back and watch the game, it's like 10 or 11 blocks. What he did to the Knicks, who had a very athletic team at the time.
And hey, Patrick ain't play. You gotta remember that.
I want to say that when you was talking about the Finals MVPs, how you only had 3. Really, 05, Manu was
Manu was good.
was right there because we it was on Twitter. Everyone was rehashing it, and the memories started coming back about '05. But really, I think the legacy of Tim Duncan is being one of the best, if not the greatest, superstar teammates. How he let his guys go. He didn't hold back Tony Parker. He didn't hold back Manu. He didn't hold back anyone. Where he was never really fighting for his spot. You know what I'm saying? His place. He went about his business. When they gave him the ball, he did what he was supposed to do. He anchored the defense. Like he could get yelled at by Pop. He was out there. So I think that's like his enduring legacy. Really, is not only just how great he was on the court, but when we see people like Kobe, when you see guys like MJ wasn't gonna do that shit. No way. There's guys who struggle with letting other people get the limelight and let them actually shine. To whereas I really don't think Tony Parker, Manu, or anybody who's played with him had to sacrifice their game for Tim Duncan. Whereas you play with Bron, you sacrificing your game.
Oh, them power forwards gonna stick with Bron if you can play.
But you know what I'm saying? Like every great player, I've never seen them. The only 2 people I've ever seen like really like that, or maybe there's more, but KG and Duncan come to my mind. Like they will let you flourish to your maximum capability, and they'll find a way to still be great as a superstar. In my opinion, that's how I always saw it. So
I mean, he had endurance. I mean, he could protect the rim. He could box out, get the board, high-low passing, entry passing, anything. I mean, he could do all the. That's why he's Mr. Fundamental. He could do anything, those little things, and then let Kawhi Leonard, expand his game in the offense, and then,
exactly.
And it just went from there. I mean, what's crazy is that me personally, as a basketball fan, I wanted to see him play just one last time. I mean, just for the hell of it, just to see if we could get them and the Warriors in the conference finals, because we couldn't get it this past year. I'm not saying they would win. I'm saying that if we could just see it, for our own eyes. I mean, they were up 2-1 against the Thunder. I mean, and then a couple of phantom calls and weird crap that happened.
Weird.
That's every series, though.
That's it. Yeah, that's true.
That's every series.
I mean, like, just think about it. They won 67 games this past season, and they were probably one of the 2 or 3 best defenses since 2006 that we've seen.
No, they won an all-time defensive pace till Duncan hurt his knee, which he never really fully recovered from this season.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think a 40-year-old anchored the #1 defense in the NBA, and it showed whenever he was off the floor. Even guys like Kawhi, they got cooked quite a bit at times.
Well, you got to think. Timmy's legit 7 feet,
I know
250,
that.
60 pounds, long arms. But the
He's 40.
but even still, one he does that swimming. You know, he used to be a swimmer, so I think his conditioning is great. Because if anybody's ever tried to really swim, like that shit is exhausting. So I think he had the endurance for it, like you said, but he was so smart because, as we know, defense isn't just all athleticism and everything; it's angles. Just like driving to the rim is not just how fast you are with your handles, is the way you can angle your body, your steps. It's all footwork, and as Anish said, fundamentals. His fundamentals, not only on offense but on defense, allowed him to do things that most people can't do because they've gone by with superior athleticism and they just rely on that. And once that jumping power goes, they're like, shit, what do I do? Well, he can just put his big body in front of somebody, get there half a second earlier than he used to. I mean,
Yeah.
just great.
And I mean, and also the other thing, he played what 19 years, and he obviously saw, how, the game, opened up for the offense when they changed all the rules. So, he's been, he's seen it all, and he's won. He's won in like basically every phase of the game as it's for whatever you want to call it, evolved or dissolved. But he won. I mean, he oh yeah, all right, hold up. I got a better way to put it. The first two rings against the Nets and the Knicks, the whole offense was throw the ball to him in the post and just let him go to work. Then, as the Suns came, when D'Antoni came in, that up tempo, pace and space, shoot threes and stuff. Then it evolved to that, and he stuck with it. And I mean, he could play that way. He could play any way. If you're a two-way player, you can play in any system, pretty much.
Sean, you got some final thoughts?
Only thing I got is, well, I can't say fuck Tim Duncan.
I think you just did.
No, I can't say that. I did.
So didn't the Lakers sweep the Spurs?
We did 0-1. It was great. It was
Did
great.
they sweep the Spurs? Come on, get some shots in there. Get some shots in. Come on.
No, two. And in Kobe's MVP season, he won. Six.
Okay, yeah, we did. Nah, Tim is I miss Tim. I miss fake Tim. It's I can't even put it in words. I'm still kind of sad by it, but I salute him for what he did for the game. He'll be missed. I'll definitely miss him. I'll definitely show my future kids this tape and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss Tim too.
You gotta show your future kids the Spike commercial him and Kobe had. That's what you gotta show them.
I gotta show them that commercial. That commercial's dope. I remember that as a kid.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna miss Duncan too, man. It's a joke he never won Defensive Player of the Year, but I'm miss the show of fundamentals he put on. And speaking of shows, did y'all catch the clown show? I mean, the Republican National Convention this week. I mean, we've had it all. They've had it all. Plagiarism. They had sports, Crown Royal bags. Is this the hood or rich white folks? I'm confused, man.
Yo.
Oh my God.
Hey, look. First of all, let me just let Crown Royal is not only a black drink, so let's calm that down, okay? Now, all right.
Man,
Crown Royal.
you from the South.
No. Hey, look, my old man is a Crown Royal and a splash of water, man, or some ice. He's been doing that for about 40-some years now. It gets around. You saw Lou with it, Lou was holding it down. He had the little bottle in there, and he had some loose quarters and everything in there. Kept it as a change purse.
Son, you saying before we started the show that you peeped out what Lou Holtz said once he finally got on stage. Could you share it with us?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
About what he said? I don't know.
Well,
I
you
don't
can paraphrase.
know what he said. He said about how Shoot, about immigrants need to. It pretty much said that immigrants need to get out of here. I'm not trying to watch a soccer team or something like that. It was something.
He said also he's not trying to celebrate your holidays and not trying to watch your soccer game.
It's like I was at work when I read that, and I was like, "Wait, let me do that again." And I kind of like busted out laughing, like, "Oh my god, like this is really serious." I was like, "Wait, I haven't seen Lil Holtz on TV like in 2 years, so I don't really like. I forgot he was alive." And I was like, "Oh, he's at the Republican convention. Okay, that makes sense. Like he's an old white man."
I bet he splashed down the first row. I bet it was wet in that joke.
It was like remember them Gallagher shows with the dude who used to do the fruits. You know, he used to the watermelon and everything. Yeah, Lou Holtz was there to bring the ponchos out and everything for him.
Hey, he wasn't the only championship winning coach that hit the stage. You know, I know you know your boy Mike Dicker from Chicago.
Hold on. Dicker is from Pennsylvania. Now he coached in the great city of Chicago. But you know, first of all, if you're ever in Chicago, you should go to Dicker's and get the pork chop. It's fucking excellent. Just gonna throw that out there. But if all of us, we've known Dicker been a Republican since fucking Abraham Lincoln. I mean, that motherfucker, however old he is. So it's you know, we was talking about on the internet. Did they try to get Dicker to run against Obama in 04, I want to say.
04.
But yeah, 04. Yeah, but he didn't want to go, and then they ended up getting Alan Keyes. And what I was telling John was the real dude. All right, so I forgot the story. Like the names with him, but my father's friend is a campaign manager. He was the actual dude who looked up the divorce proceedings of the guy who Obama was going to go against, and most likely either lose or really have a tough battle with, right? I think he was the incumbent. He went down, got all the divorce records, looked into the divorce, and it was like some weird S&M or whatever. There was something weird in there. I can't remember the details. He was the one who actually got Buddy to drop out of the race after the shitstorm happened to open it up for Obama. And then all that other thing. So it's a wild thing about how Obama got to the Senate, and Dicker, as you were saying, is always like, you know, he kind of kicks himself in his ass because he would have won. I mean,
oh, I forgot what interview it was. Dicker looked like he was ready to cry. I could have stopped Obama before this happened. Oh, you really about to cry over this? Ain't you rich? Behind your non-coaching ass?
Oh man, let's not even start about that.
Did y'all hear today about how I saw this today that Kurt Schilling said he was pissed that the Republican Party didn't ask him to speak at the convention?
Bro,
this is all a joke. It's all.
Bro,
oh my goodness, man! This is like.
Oh, you go ahead.
Hey man, I'm just glad Phillip Rivers ain't get an invite. My goodness.
Listen, man. Oh, Peyton Manning. I'm shocked.
Now Peyton coming in about 4 or 5, probably the next 8 years. You can bank it.
Oh,
man. Archie and the Mississippi royalty.
Yo, Archie's mom lives like 40 minutes away from me. She still lives in the hood.
Oh, word. Yeah, they Mississippi royalty, aren't they?
Man, they love him up this way.
Oh yeah. My brother-in-law's wife is from Mississippi. She loves the Mannings. She followed them like she's from fucking New Orleans or some shit.
Yeah, and it just is racist on the lowest keys. Man, well, speaking of ESPN, man, could y'all imagine the conversations in the cafeteria between Lou Holtz, Kurt Schilling, and Mike Dicker in the past decade? Right. Man, they probably called us all types of slurs.
Nah.
Especially had to deal with all those players.
Hey, and you know Tom Jackson and them getting in just with him.
Can't forget about good old Whitlock if he ever.
Oh, he's the fucking worst.
Man,
And then Cowherd was there too. Then Cowherd was there too. Oh Lord.
man.
But see, Cowherd, I think, is one of them. I think Cowherd one of them liberals, though, because he's from the Pacific Northwest. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was liberal. But
He's one of those
That don't
liberals that you can
make
see
you.
Tennessee's in though.
That don't mean that you're not racist because you're a fucking Democrat.
Yeah,
They like to hide it a little bit.
Yeah, he's one of those liberals that shows Tennessee's all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, to the actual convention, I didn't watch it. I was driving around or whatever, but I was following it on Twitter, which was the smoothest move I've probably ever made in my life. And then I started, then I YouTubed all the speeches or whatever. Dude, I guess not enough people because old girl Trump just was like, fuck it, Mr. Michelle gave a great speech. I'm finna just copy that shit. But Rudy Giuliani was like Howard Dean and some other shit in his speech. I had to turn it off after like 5.5 minutes. Dude, he needs to be drug tested. I mean, like that wasn't just Crown Royal in his system. He had something else. He was off the chain.
Yeah,
they scary.
Going in.
I didn't even hear it. I didn't even hear anything. Like, it was just all noise.
Because I refuse to watch that shit. I just refuse to watch that. I got actually in an argument at work with this lady's like 7 years old. I got an argument with her about the Republican convention, and she was not happy with me because I was like, you think I give a fuck about them? No, that should like be real. But I saw, I haven't watched, but I follow on Twitter. And I laughed because everybody's clowning and stuff. I saw yesterday how Ben Carson, which I think he needs to be drug tested also, or something needs to. There's something wrong.
Ben Carson.
I'm sorry, Dr. Ben.
I'm fucking with you.
He was talking about how like his speech was basically how Hillary Clinton is the devil and how she worships Satan, and how like
that's
not
entirely
false, but it's like, yo, I'm so confused. Like, wait,
hold on. If Hillary Clinton's praying to the devil, ain't she just praying to herself?
I don't even know, man. Like that whole thing to me is a clown show. It's been like that. Well, the Republican Party's been a clown show for a while.
At one point, true, the Republican Party has always been, it's always had its undertones of racism and everything like that, no doubt. But there was actually a time where it wasn't such a joke. Like, like they were like an actual fucking party. And where it made sense for a lot of rich people to kind of be in there because it went with their self-interest and everything. But now, I mean, even the people who even if it wasn't Trump, the people who were going to have it, like, these people make Mitt Romney look like a wonderful candidate. Like,
they make Mitt look like John F. Kennedy.
I mean, like Jesus Christ himself. I mean, that's how batshit crazy this shit is.
Yeah.
That comes from 8 years of fear mongering, though.
Of course.
Obama do something. Oh, he's a Muslim, this and that. ISIS, even though they really haven't touched ground in North America. Well, you get 8 years of that, of course, assholes will come out the blue and start running the party.
And the funny thing is if people actually, black, I'm not going to say most, but a lot of black people aren't happy with Obama. Like,
no.
Black Democrats are not happy with Obama because they don't feel like he's left enough or that he's fighting for them enough. But if you listen to the right, you would think every single policy he put in is to, like, take white people out of power and put black people in. Like, it's like two different reality or fantasies for the Republican Party.
Man, that's just pure racism, no. I mean,
It's just, I mean, of all the bullshit that's been going on the last 3-4 years, I mean, Obama
300 years,
like 40 years. Like he looks like he's ready to get out. I mean, I don't know how he endures all that crap. I give him his credit.
he's been great. I mean, outside of that thing when he tends to lecture black people, which is bullshit, but other than that, he's probably gonna go down as a top 5 to 10 president.
Yeah,
Back
yeah.
on about 20 years, because he inherited some bullshit, man.
I would say this: you got to be careful with ranking presidents, because for every presidency, for most time, you have to wait about 20. They say like 20 years after their presidency. Yeah, like think about it. When Bill came out of office, shit, some people were saying Bill Clinton was the third, fourth, fifth best president ever. You know what I'm saying? It was like Lincoln, JFK, and then fucking Bill Clinton. But now, as we've seen, it's been almost 20 years since his, and 16 years since the last time he was in office, we realize, or it's becoming more mainstream, that maybe Bill wasn't so great.
Yeah.
Maybe he did have a lot of difficulties that we didn't see because policies take a long time to come in place, and how you dissolve or put things in takes time. So I think Obama's done a good job. How great, how good. I mean, really, I'm not qualified to speak on it, rank it or something like that. But I feel like he was the best candidate the times that he ran. So no matter what it was, like, I think he was better than the other side. So I can't really complain about it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna complain too much, because by and large, at least Obama hasn't plagiarized the speech from the Republican Party. I mean, he could have did something like that. That'd be like the presumptive Republican nominee's wife going to the convention and, I don't know, plagiarizing the speech from the first lady who's a Democrat. I mean, I'm just saying.
Who they hate, who they said made America not great.
Man, I'm seriously. How that's a registered Democrat? Seriously, she look like a damn fool up there reciting every word Michelle Obama spoke 8 years ago.
And then they try to say how it wasn't plagiarism. I've heard that speech. I heard that so many times, like in the last 2 days. And I was like,
I'm not a writer. I'm a writer, man.
I guess Michelle made a hot line. You made a hot song.
She made it a hot speech. I made it a hotter speech.
Hotter meme.
I don't know, man. Like, when I saw that on Twitter, I was like, wait, what? You're gonna play like plagiarism gets you kicked out of college. So
what's crazy?
Like, so,
get you kicked out.
Yeah, like that gets you kicked out. Like, I've had friends who got kicked out of college for plagiarizing 1 too many times. So I'm still like fascinated by like how they got away with it, and then how someone tried to scapegoat it today. How they had a speechwriter, blah blah blah. She came out.
Yeah, he fell on the sword. He fell on the sword.
Yeah, he fell on the sword, and we know the truth. Like, we know what happened.
Come on.
They admitted several times that she worked on the speech instead of coming out when Mike Pence was announced as VP. This is Trump's running mate.
See, my thing is not so, like, I really don't give a shit that she plagiarized the speech. Like, that. I mean, that joins into the funny shit of it, and how people are defending it or whatever is weird. But mainly, it's like, I saw it on Twitter. Somebody said they've had 6 weeks to come up with a speech.
Yeah.
This just shows you how inept that they can be. That you have 6 weeks to just write a speech. Like, we're not talking about curing cancer or nothing. Just make a fucking speech, and nobody really gives a shit about these speeches, as long as they're not terrible or you plagiarize. Like, you know what I'm saying? And what do? They're like, fucking let's copy. And then, like you said, on top of that, they're not copying from somebody in, they're not getting Woodrow Wilson or something like that. Like, dude, Michelle Obama just gave this speech like 8 years ago. Like, we're all alive then. We're not fucking dumb. Like, how stupid do you think we are? So that should that's the irk part is like the things behind it.
Transitioning from the RNC, I know we talk about the fear mongering that's going on at the RNC
Mm-hmm.
this week. Well, any of y'all watch the trailers or the new Ghostbusters movie?
Yeah, I saw the trailers.
Yeah, I seen the preview in the movie theater.
Uh, yes, I have actually.
You know the first trailer it caught some heat because Leslie Jones, she's a dark skinned woman that's tall, and then in the opening trailer she said something about a Cadillac, and she's the only Ghostbuster that is not a scientist, whatever. So it's a lot of heat behind it. Then the other day, I guess the movie's doing well in theaters, whatever. She gets on Twitter, man, racists are killing her. They're calling her ape. They giving her memes with apes with semen all on the face and everything. So she starts retweeting everything. So eventually, she gets into it with a Breitbart reporter or editor, whatever. Breitbart, for the people that don't know, that's a very conservative magazine,
Yeah, that's
and they tend to sometimes allegedly make up stupid stuff to go against liberals. Whatever. I mean, it was shameful, man. What y'all think about it?
Well, let's find our resident troll. Come on.
And what
Yeah.
like
On a scale from 1 to 10, where do you fall in line of the trollingness of Leslie Jones? Not that you were a part of it, not saying that, but
I honestly didn't even know about this until probably this morning when I heard about it. So, but I mean, when I read all the stuff, I mean, I don't know exactly the whole backline to everything, but I thought at first that that editorial writer and Leslie had prior history, like before this moment, and it's just crazy how it all started over a movie. And I mean, Leslie's been on Def Jam before, and she's been around here and there. She didn't really. I think this is her first moment where she's taken off, right? I think this is
yeah, she's on Saturday Night Live now.
Yeah, that too. I mean, but I think this was like her first like movie role or whatever you want to call it. That like it was her like crowning achievement for whatever you want to.
Yeah.
For whatever you consider a crowning achievement. I mean, I don't think the movie was good or nothing, but I mean, for her cause, I mean, it's something that she can hang her hat on. 'Cause it took her a while to achieve her dream, so I think it's a little messed up that you'd that you try to bring her down that way, and say the things that shouldn't be said. I mean, look, Ghostbusters is an '80s movie, and obviously everyone knows Dan Aykroyd and all those people. Like, you can't top that. Everyone knows that, but you gotta. I mean, for me personally, I wish people could just could just let it go. Just like if you don't want, if you think it's gonna be terrible, don't go see it. Like, it's just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Leave Leslie alone. Let it go. It's just it's all messed up, to have everything escalate to something that had no business getting there.
See, I think the main problem is that it's a compounded problem. So you have sexism at play, you have racism at play, and both of these things, as long as, like you said, you're remaking a classic movie, right? So they remaking a classic movie. It was an all-women cast, and they already were, bashing the movie. then then they come out with the trailers and everything, whatever. Leslie is the only one out of the women though, who's really getting killed. You know what I'm saying? Like she's getting, they're raiding her mentions in and out, calling her an orangutan, pictures of sperm on her face and everything. Talking about, I think she gives birth to monkeys. So those are obviously all racist terms. But then there's also the sexism at play that she's a woman, and as all of us have seen on Twitter, black women are not the most protected people on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like they just kicked out a couple Twitter users or whatever for what they've done. But yet when they attack certain other people, usually black women, they don't do anything. It's like oh well, we're investigating or whatever the fuck.
And the other bad part about this is that, Leslie isn't, considered the. I mean, I'm not trying to bring.
She's not attractive.
Well, not that, but the part about her success, in the industry and everything, for what's considered funny, what's considered good. She's not really highly regarded in that sense. So it just compounds on top, like you said, to it adds more fuel to the fire, and nothing improves from this.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember her on Comic View, fucking maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like I never really thought she was too funny. She did have one funny joke where she said some girl could suck the chrome off a 1964 Cadillac, which that shit had me dying. But there's so many shitty, unfunny white comics and white women comics that we all just let slide. That it's no big deal. Like what's her name? Who was in Trainwreck? What's old girl in Trainwreck?
Oh, Amy Schumer was the worst. Yo,
Joe, let me explain something. I just tried to watch that movie yesterday. 20 minutes in, I had to turn it off. One, old girl is not attractive.
Oh,
Two,
my God.
she's not funny. And that's the moral thing. Like, I don't care if you're not attractive, you're a comedian. But, like, she doesn't catch nearly the hell that Leslie Jones is caught, and she has, like, 100 times the limelight. So that's why I'm saying, like, that's where the racism part plays in.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, where there's then the sexism part because they're replacing Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and all these things.
It's like the whole white coach, black coach, white QB, black QB. It's essentially that. Like why does the black QB catch hell while the white QB gets to slide free? It's basically you have your story right there.
Yep.
So you try to chime in?
I mean, I never really thought Leslie Jones was funny. I thought she was kind of just. When they put on SNL, I was like, oh, whatever. I don't watch SNL, but I was like, whatever, like it's cool and all. But I don't want to see people go through that, that type of racism on social media like that. Like that was embarrassing. And the fact that they took forever. They wanted I saw how they like, hey, DM us. Well, you do it right there. Like we all saw it all day long. Everybody saw it be retweeted. It kept going over and over and over. So I just, I feel for her on that. And to go on what you said about Trainwreck, listen. So I watched that movie, or I tried watching it, and it wasn't for me. It was like 15 minutes, and I was kind of like, yo, this shit sucks. Like Amy Schumer is one of the worst comedians I've ever seen in my life. And so when I posted that on Facebook, Facebook's a cesspool. I like to throw random shit on Facebook and see what happens. So I posted on Facebook, yo, Amy Schumer is the worst comedian of all time.
He's the one who stole the jokes, right, from Patrice?
Yep.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, she stole jokes from him.
Well, at least you picked a good person to steal from.
I just
Rest in
people were
peace.
mad at me for that because said she wasn't funny. I was like, she's not. I did not laugh at all in Trainwreck. I just thought it was the worst. At least with Leslie Jones, I laughed a little bit when she has stuff. But I don't know. I feel bad for her though.
I
do
just
too. I mean, seriously, this is it's basically a no-win situation. We said here, it's just a woman, black, like, you know, the levels of attraction, whatever people may feel, and then remaking of a classic 80s movie. It's just all hell right there. It's just like one domino falling down after the other, and it just, you know, it's hell. I mean, I don't know exactly how you can, you know, like keep, you know, can take that. That's brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Speaking
sad.
of black actors, well, this Sunday night, a show on Stars premiered. I don't think y'all heard of it. I think it's called Power. It was season 3 premiere or whatever. And it had Twitter buzz. I mean, for me personally, I find the show to be overrated. It's put like this: it's enjoyable bullshit because the storylines are half-assed. But I'm just trying to get y'all thoughts on what happened Sunday night on Power.
I don't watch Power, so I I've heard of it.
Not enough white women in it for you?
Season 1,
Wow.
Jokes.
Yeah, that's cool. That hurt. Shit.
season 1 is good.
Oh shit.
Oh man. I haven't seen it. Like,
You really, I mean, you're not missing much. Truthfully, you know what I'm saying? You're not missing much. It's as John, you know, he put it right. John put it right. It's to me, it's like a late night soap opera that you can watch with a woman. The show's written by a woman. It has they have like unnecessary sex scenes in it, like that are long as hell. That like happen. It's like 4 sex scenes per show. It's like, okay, are we gonna get to something like I'm not 12 years old, where they weak as hell anyways. You know what I'm saying? It's like, can we get to the show? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Bro, they were fucking.
yeah. So I mean, it's not I saw somebody talking about like Power getting Emmy snubbed or something, like it got snubbed for Emmys. Like, let's slow down. Just because it's entertaining doesn't mean it's
killed for
good.
that last week.
Like, I like awesomely bad movies. I can admit that they're bad movies. I just happen to like them.
yeah.
You gotta know what you gotta know when you like a shitty show.
I like a lot of garbage shit, but you know, in the end, it's bad. It's just
It's entertaining. It's entertaining, but like you're gonna put none of the characters I feel like are real. The dialogue that they have, the actions that they do. You know, I'm not getting Game of Thrones level writing here. You know, I'm not getting it. It's just like it's some cool stuff to watch. Is I mean, I watch it. I don't mind it, but I think I put it in its proper context. So
I'm trying to see what the hell they going with this Angela storyline with the feds and her stalker ex-boyfriend. It's not making sense.
man, Ghost and Angela gonna annoy me the whole season.
Tommy and his old lady, they've annoyed me since season 1. Like, none of them make sense.
when did Kanan turn into a superhero?
Man, that motherfucker resurrected from the dead like Jon Snow.
Also, has anybody else get the feeling that 50 gonna throw in Kanan gonna turn into a rapper so that 50 can perform music so people have to hear it on the show? Like, he got the theme music, the end thing. Like, he gonna put in there somehow where Kanan turns into a rapper, and it's all 50 Cent songs that he got because nobody listening to him anymore.
The only 50 Cent song I've liked in the past 6 years is the damn intro to Power.
Ha!
No, he got some decent songs. You gotta listen to the I'm the Man.
Hey man, I'm not listening to
I haven't heard
50
50 Cent
2016.
songs since I haven't heard 50 Cent songs since 2007. Off that last album he had, I was like, that's the
Curtis.
last album.
Curtis.
Was it Curtis? What was it called?
Yep.
I think
Yeah,
it
it
was.
was Curtis
Yeah, he had a
album.
song. He had a song with Akon. It was like
Ivy
Still
One was
Kill.
on it. That's the only reason that they even put it out.
Yeah. And then he had the song with Timberlake and Timberland, and that was it. I have not heard, and I just after that, it was like, yo, this is over for me, dog.
I will say this though. Nature need to win an Emmy for Power though. Nature
who?
need to win an Emmy, man. Nature Naughton, Ghost wife. He needs to win an Emmy. I don't care what y'all say. Nature Naughton is the best. Y'all get
For what? For what?
for her news scenes, man.
Hey man, she's gained a little weight, man. She gained a little weight. You gotta call her up, tell your girl to
Man.
slim it back down.
Hey man, quit killing dreams over here, man.
Hey, first of all, or I should say, back to the 50. 50's actually put out some good music past 2010 or so. It's just that nobody gives a shit about 50 anymore. Like that War Angel LP that he came out with. There's been some songs like Nine Shots, I'm the Man. He had some songs with Jeremiah, whatever. They've been actually good songs. I listen to them, like, oh shit. But nobody gives a shit about 50. Like, he wore out his welcome. He's completely done. Once you reach the zenith of just being everywhere and so popular, people then just like, fuck off. I don't really even give a shit. Especially when you think everything is fake from him.
Candy shop, I take you to the candy shop. Like, did you just clown Ja Rule for that shit?
Listen. So 50 Cent, like when I was like real young, like Candy Shop was my ringtone in like the 7th grade. So that shit came on in the middle of class. Like my mom called me in the middle of class. It was like, I'll take you to the candy shop. Dum, dum. I'll let you I was like, oh fuck. I was like, oh.
Yo.
No, that was my dude. I just stopped liking him. I guess, maybe he did well. He was welcome. I was like, I don't listen to him no more. Like,
I think we're gonna end on that note, man. I think we'll be back in 2 weeks, bro. Good show, man.